Today we're going to talk about the sequel to one of the most fun, entertaining, and creepy haunted house stories I've read all year long, so be sure to stick around and come back after the intro. What's up everybody, my name is Brad and today I'm here for another book review for you guys. This was a book review I was hoping to get out on Wednesday, but I've been super busy this week, haven't had much time to film, so we're getting it on Friday, but better late than never, I suppose. If you happen to be new to the channel, I read a lot of Indian small press horror, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi, so if any of that sounds like something you are interested in, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Check out some of the other content on the channel, and maybe you'll discover a book that you enjoy. If you're coming back, returning to the channel, thanks for coming back and sticking around. I really do appreciate it. So we're here for a book review. Like I said, this is the sequel to one of my most favorite haunted house books, not only from this year, but that I've ever really read. I like how unique that one was. And today we're talking about Dead Women Scorned by Michael Clarke. Like I said, this is book 2 in the Patience of a Dead Man trilogy. Book 1 back there is Patience of a Dead Man. And then book 3 is Anger is an Acid, which I have yet to read book 3. So here in book 2, this one takes place really close to after the events of book 1. We're returning to the old haunted farmhouse in New Hampshire. And Tim Russell, our main character from book 1, he's sort of cautiously optimistic about what has transpired, hoping that Mildred Wells is forever, once and for all, out of his life, that he can sort of move on, get the house finished refurbishing, and get it sold, move on with his life and his relationship with Holly, and just sort of put the past couple weeks behind him, all this horrible stuff that has occurred with Mildred Wells. But little does he know that hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. So my favorite aspect of book 1, what really made it stand out to me above your other haunted house books, was Michael Clarke's unique twist and take on the haunted house trope. He sort of twisted it on its head, gave us something different and fresh and unique, while still combining that and crafting this atmosphere of spine-tingling dread and menace and just this creepiness to the book. Here in book 2, the tone overall, it's vastly different than book 1. We still get those creepy moments, those look over your shoulder moments. But other than that, it's a really different feeling than book 1, which was sort of unexpected to me. But I like that Michael Clarke has enough confidence in his story to sort of go a different route, try something different. It still feels, in the same universe. It doesn't feel completely out of left field, but not to just rehash everything he did in book 1. To give us a different experience this time around in the second entry in the trilogy. And I really appreciated that he took the steps to go a different route, and it did work really well for me. So this is a minor spoiler for the end of book 1, Patience of a Dead Man. It's nothing really plot-wise. It's just something I really loved, and it's a reveal about Mildred that we get at the end of the book. It's something that just seems so simple, but really made it stand out above any other haunted house books, made it feel different than other haunted house books. And what that is we learn that Mildred, she's not a ghost, she's not a spirit, she can't manifest before your eyes and then sort of dematerialize, she can't walk through walls, there's no other sort of ghostly shenanigans at play. What we learn at the end of the book is Mildred, she's actually a revenant, which I just thought was something different and super cool to actually have that in the story. You don't really read many books about revenants. For those that don't know, a revenant is an animated corpse revived from death to haunt the living and is usually fueled by vengeance. So here in Dead Woman Scorned, Mildred, she really takes center stage. This is her book, it's her story. We delve into her backstory a lot. We get a lot about sort of the horrors she went through as a child, the events and things that shaped her and made her become the woman she is now. Why she can do certain things that she can do, how she became a revenant. We get to learn all that kind of stuff. And, Michael Clarke, he took this antagonist from book 1, this creepy woman that stands in the corner that you don't like, you don't root for her at all, you're totally against her. And here in book 2, he sort of humanizes her to some degree, gives her a bit of humanity, You're able to sympathize with her to a certain degree. And I thought that was a really outstanding achievement to take this villainous, hateful, killer of a person from book one and sort of change that around, make you see her in a different light, make you feel different things about her than you did the first time. That's not to say she's innocent by any means. She's definitely not. But you do start to see the cracks in her sort of facade, her armor, and you do feel for her, especially when she's a child going through what she goes through, even though you know how she sort of turns out. You do feel those things. He does pull on your emotions, your gut strings a little bit. And I thought that was really interesting to pull back that curtain some and really delve deep into basically the antagonist of not only book one, but the entire series. I really enjoy that aspect of this book. So in saying all that, I thought this was actually a really bold decision on Michael Clarke's part to delve into and reveal so much of Mildred's backstory. Not just sort of the humanizing of the antagonist, but really pulling back the curtain and revealing some of the mystique and mystery and urban legend surrounding the character of Mildred Wells that he really built up in book one. I've said it before, actually I think I said it in my last review, that the scariest monsters are the ones that aren't fully revealed to the audience. There's still something lurking in the shadows about them, leaving stuff up to the imagination for us, the either viewers or readers, to fill in the blanks ourselves. And I think this could have really backfired on Michael Clarke, revealing too much about Mildred, giving us too much of her story. But in fact, I think it did the exact opposite of that. It really doubled down on how scary and powerful Mildred Wells really is. It really shows the reader that she knows exactly what she is doing. She's not just some spirit or ghost going through the motions, reliving past events from her previous life. She's cold and calculating and manipulative, and she's just downright evil. She's patient, and it's not a question of, if she will seek her revenge, it's when she will seek her revenge. I'm stealing a quote from the back of the book. Time means nothing to the dead. This time around, Clarke infuses a bit of fantasy into the story, which I really enjoyed. It doesn't go full-blown fantasy by any means, but there's some black magic in this book. Magic with a K at the end instead of a C. Some like black magic and some witchcrafty type stuff. There's spells and rituals. We get to see sort of how a revenant lives and survives, what all they can do. All the while still keeping the genre firmly rooted in horror, which I liked. We get a bit of a bolstered cast. We get some new people. We get Sheila, Tim's ex-wife, returning, and she's just as cringy and can't stand her, hateful as ever. We get a new character, Bob Simmons, who's a police officer who's Tim's next-door neighbor, who's really ingrained in the urban legend of Mildred Wells. Both him and Sheila are characters that you love to hate. Couldn't stand them, but in a good way. They were well written and done in a way that, they're supposed to be characters you don't like. I really like them. I don't remember. It was maybe 3/4 of the way through or so, we get introduced to a new character named Andrew, who doesn't seem to be directly tied in with the plot at the time while we're reading it, but I'm sure he will have an important function come book 3. I'm very curious to see how he's going to tie into everything story-wise once we get to the end of the book. So in closing, captivating, thrilling, and grim, Dead Woman Scorned by Michael Clarke is an intriguing glimpse behind the curtain into the beating heart of evil. The short chapters and the compelling narrative really make this book a page-turner. It is 450-something pages. It does have really short chapters, though, like I said, but I blew through it really quick for me. My buddy read this with Leslie from Nerdy Narrative and Sharon. I'll link their channels down below. We blew through it quick. It is definitely a page turner. You'll want to know what is going to happen next. But all that combined with some explosive events towards the end of the book and sort of a cliffhanger ending really leaves the reader just hanging at the edge, dangling on, just waiting to find out what's going to happen next in book 3, Anger is an Acid. I can't wait to see how all this wraps up the conclusion of the trilogy. It is one of my favorite haunted house, not only books, individual book, but just as a series as a whole. It's different, it's unique. I really like the inclusion of sort of black magic and spells into a haunted house story that doesn't feel cliched and sort of the same old trope over and over again. It really does truly feel different and fresh and unique. I know I've said that before, but I like reading things that I haven't read before, and this really feels like something I haven't read before, and I can't wait to get to Anger is an Acid. So this has been my review of Dead Woman Scorned. I'm giving it 4 stars. I truly enjoyed it, and again, I cannot wait to see where it all concludes, how it all concludes and wraps up. But that has been my review today. Again, this is Dead Woman Scorned, Book 2 in the Patience of a Dead Man trilogy by Michael Clark. I gave it 4 stars. That's all I have for you guys today, so thank you for spending your time with me. Again, my name is Brad, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.